What is up, fam? How
Hi
you doing?
guys, welcome
Welcome
back.
back to another deep dive.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
I'm super excited about today's because we're doing Druid, which I know I said Bard was one of my favorite classes. Druid is my favorite
He
class
always
fantasy.
has to try to convince himself not to play a druid, and he always plays a druid.
Yeah, I just think Druids in other iterations are just so much fun. Any game that they're offered, that's normally what I'm playing. So, but if you are new here, I'm J Martins.
I'm Sassy Cat.
We are a couple stream where we've been streaming mostly TTRPG related stuff lately. So if you're interested at all, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and support the channel as we're trying
Would
to
mean a
grow
lot
this.
growing this channel up.
Let's get started.
On druid.
We'll start with the Sage domain, which they have Sage and Arcana. The Sage is a domain of the natural world. Those who walk this path tap into their unfettered power of the earth and its creatures to unleash raw magic. Sage grants its inherent the vitality of blooming flower and the ferocity of a ravenous predator.
All
Love it.
right, and we also have the
Never-
Arcana domain, which is the domain of the innate and instinctual magic. Those who choose this path tap into the raw, enigmatic forces of the realms to manipulate both their own energy and the elements. Arcana offers wielders a volatile power, but it is incredibly potent when correctly channeled.
Exciting.
Seems like standard evasion, 10.
And 6 hit points. That's not bad.
No, not bad. So far, I think only the Guardian's been the highest hit points we've seen, right? No. Guardian started with,
I think Guardian was the highest.
yeah.
At 7.
Just my Guardian is low evasion.
Low evasion.
My Guardian, the Guardian I built, that about to play in our campaign,
It's like 6.
my evasion's 6.
So, but I'm very excited because it looks like this game does use transform. I really hate when games
Yay.
make druids not have transformations. So evolution, you spend 3 hope to transform into a beast form without marking a stress. When you do, choose 1 trait to raise by +1 until you
Oh,
drop out of beast form.
really? So you can like,
Okay, so then it looks like normally you can transform without the hope, but it just you have to mark a stress. So you can go ahead and read the next form.
So, beast form. So you can mark a stress to magically transform into a creature of your tier or lower from the beast form list. You can drop out of this form at any time. While transformed, you can't use weapons or cast spells from domain cards, but you can still use other features or abilities you have access to. Spells you cast before you transform stay active and last for their normal duration. And you can talk and communicate as normal.
Good.
Additionally, you gain the Beast Form's features, add their evasion bonus to your evasion, and use the trait specified in their statistics for your attack. While you're in a Beast Form, your armor becomes part of your body, and you mark armor slots as usual. When you drop out of Beast Form, those marked armor slots remain marked. If you mark your last hit point, you automatically drop out of this form.
So you're still pretty much yourself.
Yeah, you don't have like temporary.
But you probably get special traits depending on what you pick.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure the list is going to be on here.
You add their evasion bonus to your evasion. So I almost probably wouldn't want almost any evasion because I'd want to use the beast evasion.
Probably.
Like, it'd free up a stat to.
Yeah, plus you get that +1. You can spend 3.
If you're going to go more of a beast build.
Yeah, beast build.
I probably would.
Yeah.
They also get Wildtouch when you can perform a harmless, subtle effect that evolves nature, such as causing a flower to rapidly grow, summoning a slight gust of wind, or starting a campfire at will.
You will never freeze.
Never.
So we have subclasses. We have the Warden of the Elements. Play the Warden of the Elements if you want to embody the natural elements of the wild. Then we have the Warden of Renewal. Play the Warden of Renewal if you want to use powerful magic to heal your party. Oh, healing class.
So this first subclass uses Instinct as your spellcasting trait. Your foundation feature is Elemental Incarnation. Mark a stress to channel one of the following elements until you take severe damage or until next rest. Fire, When an adversary within melee range deals damage to you, they take 1d10 fire damage. Ooh, that's pretty good.
Oh, that is pretty good. And you keep it till they hit you with severe damage?
Yeah.
Or your next rest. Wow, okay.
Gain a bonus to your damage threshold equal to your proficiency. Like a level 1
If
plus
you're
1.
Earth.
When you deal damage to an adversary within melee range, all other adversaries within close range must mark a stress.
Water. And then air. You can hover, gaining advantage on agility rolls. But see, you have to mark a stress to channel. So you can switch the channel if you keep marking the stress.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Ooh, that could be kind of dangerous, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to do that.
Yeah, but you can at least mark one stress if you're pretty looking good to have one of these elements going on you. And then you have a specialization feature as you level up. Elemental aura. Once per rest while channeling, so channeling one of those 4, you can assume an aura matching your element. The aura affects targets within close range until your channeling ends. So basically, you're stacking, it seems like. So if you're fire, when an adversary marks 1 or more hit points, they must also mark a stress. Earth, your allies gain a +1 bonus to strength.
Mm-hmm.
Want to do water and air?
When an adversary deals damage to you with water, you can mark a stress to move them anywhere within very close range of where they are. So when an adversary deals damage to you, you can mark a stress so you can literally just move them like away from you.
Looks like it. And air.
When you or an ally take damage from an attack beyond melee range, reduce the damage by 1d8. So you almost like putting up like a wind wall or something.
You know, when we play those games, it says the difficulty of characters. I feel like this one would be like a 4-star difficulty.
For the especially
the druid,
for the first
the
one.
elemental druid here, because if you're playing like your first like Daggerheart character, it's like you really would have to be. I mean, I'm sure it's sounding more complicated than it is, but you're definitely having to channel all this. Like if I'm channeling fire, and now next I have an aura and all that stuff. I just feel like you're like having to go in between all of these.
Yeah, I guess the good thing is it would start you off. You just start with the first one, but still, yeah, you like which one for the right situation.
And limiting how many stresses you mark. Maybe you want to make sure if you have a bard in your group, maybe they're taking your stresses away, so you could switch to based on the environment that's around you and what's happening. It seems like it could be really fun to play.
Mastery features, which starts with Elemental Dominion. You further embody your element while channeling. You gain the following benefits. So this all seems to be about channeling.
Mm-hmm. And you can't do fire and earth.
No,
it seems like
it's
once you channel fire, you get the stuff part of fire.
You gain +1 bonus to proficiency for attack and spells that deal damage. When you would mark a hit point with earth, roll a d6 per hit point marked. The result of a 6 reduce the number of hit points you mark by 1.
Then for water, when an attack against you succeeds, you can mark a stress to make the attacker temporarily vulnerable. Well, that's kind of good. And air, you gain a +1 bonus to your evasion and can fly.
Okay. The next one, Warden of Renewal, is also use Instinct. Their foundation feature is Clarity of Nature. Once per long rest, you can create a space of natural serenity within close range. When you spend a few minutes resting within this space, clear stress equal to your instinct, which I'm guessing would be +2. Yeah. Seems like what most of the stuff balance off of. Distributed as you choose between your allies. So if you have 2, you can't. Everyone doesn't just get to like 1 and 1. That's still pretty big, good
though. Yeah.
And it looks like it's free to do just once per long rest. They also give regeneration. You touch any creature and spend 3 hope. That creature then clears 1d4 hit points. That's pretty big.
That's pretty big. Seeing that most characters only have 5 to 6 hit points.
Right.
Once you hit your specialization features, you have regenerative reach. You can target creatures within very close range with your regeneration feature. You no longer have to touch them.
Yeah.
They just have to be in very close range. Okay. And then Warden's protection. Once per long rest, spend 2 hope to clear 2 hit points on 1d4 allies within close range. Could you imagine if they're all like tucked in with you and you roll a 4 and you literally clear 4 hit points on all of your allies.
No.
Woo!
You clear 2 hit points, but on 4 allies.
4 allies. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I was getting a little. I was jumping the gun. I was getting a little too excited.
Still really good though.
Right.
And then their final mastery feature is Defender. Your animal transformations embody a healing guardian spirit. When you're in beast form and an ally within close range marks 2 or more hit points, you can mark a stress to reduce the number of hit points by 1. That's pretty sweet. Because then, if it's just 2, you can mark a stress, remove it by 1, and then they can use an armor, remove by 1. Now they take 0.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm still I'm confused a little bit, so maybe people can help us out in the comments. How does these 2 subclasses go with your beast form?
I don't think they do. I think beast form is almost like an I mean, obviously the only one that goes with your beast form.
It seems like the Renewal had a beast form option.
I don't know, because Renewal does have beast form option, but farther later. But it does say you keep all your stuff you have active on you. So therefore,
so if you're the elemental,
you can put one of those and
start
then
channeling and then turn into a beast to beat people up. So you almost can do then deeps as you're channeling.
Yeah, so when an adversary within melee range deals damage, so yeah, you can be like this beast, like a bear, and then whenever an adversary melee deals damage to you, they take 1d10.
Okay. I was just trying to click because I felt like I had an elemental druid versus a healing druid. Where does the beast form come in?
At first I was thinking I'd probably go Renewal just because there is something with beast form, because I'd want to play beast, but now thinking about it, I'd probably go elemental.
I feel like this would be a more complicated character play, but not where you can't play it. It's just that you have to really think, outside the box of what my character can do.
When you deal damage to an adversary within melee range, all the adversaries within very close range of his mark of stress. Yeah, so this definitely feels like it would, if you wanted to be a pure tank damage dealing druid, you'd want to go elementalist, I think. Earth. But
I'd say the Renewal's pretty baller of saving your party's ass, right?
Yeah, I think if you want to be a healer, I think that would probably be better. But I personally would probably go elementalist.
Well, you built mine on our last video, so
yeah, because I like focusing on beast forms when I play druid.
Yeah, well, let's build a Warden of the Elements.
It's not letting me.
No. Oh, there we go.
Saving class changes. Might be lagging here.
All right.
Here we go. So we're gonna set our traits. Are you able to see it yet?
Yeah, you can keep going.
I can't see it yet. We're lagging here. Let's try to do a refresh. So how's everybody's day going?
I just imagine the back in the AOL days, if I'm aging myself. You see the little spinny thing.
So
all together.
Their suggested traits are +2 instinct, which I think is obvious, +1 finesse, +1 agility, 0 knowledge and 0 stress, and -1 presence. What was it they got to bump up again though?
They could do +1 strength, was it? That we saw on their Earth? I think it was on Earth. Under subclasses.
Evasion. Add to the, they just use their evasion bonus. Okay, never mind.
Okay. There's something with Earth though, I thought.
Yeah. That was starting weapon. So you do have a spellcasting trait, so you can do pretty much whatever. Probably definitely have to go some kind of claws, right?
Right.
Besides being kind of wonky right now, guys. Sorry. Welcome to Daggerheart. I've already been here.
Well, you have your arcane gauntlets.
Yeah, so I'd probably definitely go something like that, just so I can.
What about your glowing rings as a druid? Is that range or is that?
Click it. Click the down. Definitely the first issues we've had on Demiplane so far.
Hopefully that means so many people are creating characters.
Yeah.
And super excited to try out Daggerheart.
So I think I'm going to try to jump to the domain card.
Yeah,
See if I
so
can
we
get
can read
that to
through
load
that.
because that's more important. That way you guys don't have to watch loading screens and watch me lag in my brain. Because weapons aren't, I mean, they're all pretty fairly balanced. You can almost choose whatever you want and it'll be successful. It's not like D&D where you have certain proficiencies or something like that.
So in the stage of your domains, we have the gifted tracker. When you're tracking a specific creature or group of creatures based on signs of their passage, you can spend any number of hope and ask the GM that many questions from the following list. What direction did they go? How long ago did they pass through? What were they doing in this location? How many of them were here? When you encounter creatures you've tracked in this way, gain a +1 bonus to your evasion against them.
That's pretty cool because, so I guess when you do it this way, you don't have to roll anything. You just automatically get to ask those questions and get the answer.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The nature's tongue. When you speak the language of the natural world, or you can speak the language of the natural world, when you want to speak to plants and animals around you, make instinct roll 12 plus. On a success, they'll give you the information they know. On a roll with fear, their knowledge might be limited or come at a cost. Additionally, before you make a spellcast roll while within the natural environment, you can spend a hope to get a +2 roll. That means just anytime you're in the forest or something, you can spend +2 on a spellcast roll.
So it seems like.
As long as you spend a hope. Okay.
Yeah. Rune wards, part of the arcana. Now, you have a deeply personal trinket that can be infused with protective magic and held as a ward by you or an ally. Describe what it is and why it's important to you. The ward's holder can spend a hope to reduce incoming damage by 1d8. If the ward die result is 8, the ward's power ends after it reduces damage this turn. It can be recharged for free on your next rest. So it's only if you roll an 8.
Yeah, so I think this is what Laura Bailey's character does. That little
with her
sorceress.
dolls. Yeah.
The next one is Unleash Chaos. At the beginning of the session, place a number of tokens equal to your spellcasting trait on this card. So I start with +2, or whatever your spellcasting trait is. I assume most people would put their spell +2 in their spellcast. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range and spend any number of tokens to channel raw energy within yourself to unleash it on them. On a success, roll a number of d10s equal to your token you spent and deal that much damage to the target. Mark a stress to replenish this card with tokens up to your spellcasting trait. At the end of each session, clear all unspent tokens.
I would almost, because Unleash Chaos seems too sorceress for me. If I was playing a druid, I would have to ask my GM, could I spin it looking differently than chaos? You know?
Yeah,
Can I make
that.
it like branches shooting out or something like that, like roots shooting out?
Yeah, I
make
totally agree
make
with
myself feel more like a druid.
Yeah, I think I'd do that with almost all
the
the
arcana type stuff. Yeah. But that's the great thing about Daggerheart. You're allowed to add flavor to this
Right.
stuff. It will still do the same thing, the card that you picked, but you can add that flavor of how it looks.
Yeah, because like on Rune Ward, I'd almost want it like bark.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, it'd be more nature type stuff.
Vicious Entangle. You make a spellcast roll, and this is Sage. Make a spellcast roll against a target within far range. On a success, root and vines reach out of the ground, deal 1d8 +1 physical damage, and temporarily restraining the target. Additionally, on success, you can spend a hope to temporarily restrain another adversary within very close range of the target.
That'd be awesome for like an AoE type thing, because I know that the DM can use a fear, but can you imagine if you restrained 2?
Yeah,
Because you spent 2 hope.
Burning 2 fear.
Now you have possibly the DM has to make choices, right? Like, do I spend 2 fear to get rid of these restraints, or do I just rid of 1 restraint? I kind of like that. I like how you can bounce it. We also have in the Arcana Wall Walk. So you spend a hope to allow a creature you can touch to climb on walls and ceilings as easily as walking on the ground. This lasts until the end of the scene, or you cast wall walk again.
Yeah, so like again for that, I'd almost like a spider.
Yeah.
You know, so
like if I touch an ally, all of a sudden, you know, spiders have those little like hairs that come out of their fingers. So you get like little hairs coming out of your fingers, like Spider-Man.
like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I would say Sage feels very prototypical druid.
Yeah.
Arcana, I don't feel like fits unless, like you said, you
reflavor it.
At least if you're going the
Typical
prototypical druid. Like the Arcana doesn't feel very nature oriented, unless you went something like the Arcana was corruption, or you know, you'd have to reflavor it, I think. But that being said, I think it's awesome, and I'd probably pick.
Yeah, well, I think Vicious and Tangle would be pretty cool.
I'd definitely pick Vicious and Tangle.
And then probably maybe the Rune Ward.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool to play around with, because if you like you said, you were going to make more of a beast tanky type thing.
Yeah.
Rune Ward would be very helpful with that.
It is a spell, so you wouldn't be able to cast it. You'd have to cast beforehand. But yeah, you could do that. Yeah, I wouldn't do Unleash Chaos because the spell. Well, I mean, I guess they're all spells, right?
Yeah.
Another one that would be pretty good would be Wall Walk.
True.
Because you put that on, you spend the hope, put it on, it's just on you. You don't have to worry about.
I don't know. I didn't see a beast list for Druid.
So I did see that. Where do we? Oh wait, character sheet.
Character sheet.
Yeah. So under beast forms, select the beast form. Let's say there's an agile scout, which again I'm guessing so fox, mouse, wheel, etc., or weasel, etc.
Okay.
Whichever you get to flavor however you want. Aquatic scout, eel, fish, octopus.
And it gives you your agility, evasion. It gives you stats for each one that you pick. Okay.
Household friend, cat, dog, rabbit.
Oh, kitty cat.
Nimble grazer, which would be like your deer, gazelle, or goat. And pack predator, so coyote, hyena, wolf.
No bear? We can't go roar. Wait, there's a.
I mean, again, you can flavor it. I'm guessing that would be a.
Wait, there's a second page on it. Looks like.
Oh, you're right.
And
it's a stalking arachnid.
Oh,
okay. It's a spider. So tarantula, wolf, etc. So I'm assuming you would have to flavor like. Wouldn't be a nimble grazer. I'd probably say you'd have to flavor pack predator.
The wolf turn into. It says etc. So you could make. You can make a bear.
You can do it however you want.
Okay, I like that about Daggerheart. You can make your own flavor and stuff like that.
But that will wrap it up for Druid, guys. If you did enjoy the content, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know that keep making these videos. If you want to check out other deep dives, we have quite a few on the channel. If you go ahead and click below, you'll be able to find them. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye, guys.